Pinch Punch, first update of the month. SHADOWFRAX here with this week's Rust news, and can you smell that? That fantastic fishy fragrance, that orgasmic oceanic odour, that perplexing pelagic parfum. It must be my tuna can wall lamp, but oh no, it appears to have just gone out. I know. I'll just light it up again with my brand new flame turret! Yes, indeed, Helk has been absolutely on fire this week, going back through all of my old Concept Limbo videos, and is adding whatever low-hanging fruit he can find therein. Poor chap will be scarred for life by the time he's finished all 12 episodes. So here we stand on the threshold of a brave new world where this week we have not just one, but two brand new playthings to toy and destroy with. Exhibit A being Rust's first actual wall light, originally concepted way back in 2014, but here it is, finally in-game in all its fishy glory. It'll set you back one empty tuna can, rinse it out first though, 20 wood and 10 low grade. It functions pretty much like the lantern, burning fuel at the same rate, casts a warm glow and looks, dare I say it, rather castly. Next, something that I know a lot of you have been climbing up the walls to get your hands on ever since the first glimpse we got of it back in August of last year. Turrety McTurret Face, or the Flame Turret as it's officially known. Wedged into this week's update sideways at the last moment, this smarmy looking beast works on similar principles to the auto turret, but does have a couple of distinct differences. Obviously, it doesn't use bullets, but rather low-grade fuel, and fortunately is a bit more frugal with it, so you'll definitely get more flames for your florins. When triggered, it will spray and pray for 5 seconds. However, and this is the big experimental difference, instead of having to authorize on it, it will only attack people who don't have building privilege. The plan is to be able to hook it up to pressure pads or other triggering mechanisms one day, but until then, if you don't want visitors to your base toasted to a crispy finish, just take the fuel out. Each one will cost you 15 HQ, 5 metal pipes, 5 propane tanks and 3 gears, and takes 60 seconds to craft. Oh, and don't put them in wooden buildings, by the way. I wonder what other nearly finished items will be resurrected from the realms of Concept Limbo. Next, what would you like to see? Leave me a comment, please. The team have been on it this week, and there were an absolute crap ton of other changes to Rust, so you'll have to forgive me if I rattle through some of them. But first, there were some adjustments to how items were skinned, which will allow more of them to become skinnable, and for a start, you can now make ones for both the double barrel and the satchel charge, so looking forward to see what you come up with for those. Quick Craft will now use whatever skin you last chose for that item, and the correct icon will now appear in the crafting queue. In addition to this, and a much requested feature, your starter rock will also have whatever skin you chose for it last time, be that a chunk of ice or a piece of overripe fruit. Up until this update, a tiny amount of radiation would always seep through, even if you were suited up in full rad gear, and this was bad, so now it won't, which is good. Ever wonder why you never saw many porch lights or exterior lanterns on bases? Mostly because people without building privilege could just run up and steal the low grade out of them. Well, no longer. Now you can only access them if authorized on the local tool cupboard. In other changes, now you can only decant water from barrels or catches by interacting with their taps. Most ammo will stack to 128, nice round number there. Plants can take damage and be chopped down, and dead neglected ones will now stick around as a reminder of your pathetic horticultural incompetence. Almost all of the more exotic signage has had its prices slashed to as much as a third or quarter of what it was before. Bone armor and deer helmets cost 50 less bone each and a bit less rope. Arrow trails were using the wrong shader all this time, meaning they were bright white even at night, and this was quite a sight in a fight. Now this is fixed. Ladder hatches are equivalent in strength and raidability to a sheet metal door, and so behave accordingly when attacked, and the underside is now immune to damage from things like bone clubs and hatchets. Building parts now glow blue when you point a hammer at them, and the last vestige of the old XP system, item ownership, was finally stripped out, which is a shame because you can no longer see who all the old owners of an item were, but fear not, because the most useful and fun aspect of it all is still there, namely skulls will display the name of the player they were harvested from. The cleaver was buffed to inflict more damage and has a higher range now, same as the mace. Pumpkins when worn on the noggin are visible from much further away. The combat log now shows a unique server assigned ID for both attacker and target, which should help admins out quite a bit, and there were a number of fixes to the player model, including proper animations for ladder climbing. Definitely a step in the right direction. Performance-wise, LODs for all weapons are still being worked through and optimized. There were some fixes to physics, a server load entity leak was found and sorted out, and the first iteration of the new world serialization system is here, which basically means that the first time you join a server, the world will be cached. The idea being that any subsequent times you join, the loading process should be sped up substantially. So give it a go and let me know what you think. There's now proper ambience in caves too, so in with the nice drippy sounds and out with being able to still hear birds, which was rather off-putting. Also, the reverb has had another pass. In works in progress, the bunkers at the military tunnel complex are getting plumbed in properly, with a second fix of modular pipes, electrical installations and all sorts of valves, gauges and knobs being added. It's not in-game yet, but is looking very sexy indeed. Lastly, for those of you who don't mind being branded as a heavy metal pothead, the texturing on the new armor set is almost finished and the whole thing will soon be clanking its way over to being rigged. Exciting times, chaps. Exciting times. Thanks for watching and for pressing my buttons. You know which ones I mean. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you think to this week's update. Come and visit me in all the usual places such as Twitch, Twitter, Facebook and Steam, and I shall catch you all soon. But in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio.